So I think that was under maybe 2 minutes or a minute. That is just a snippet of the celebration that was really weird that happened right after the verdict of Diddy. This was out of the New York Post, and it was just really weird. And there's probably other photos. I believe there's some still photos of the celebration. I've seen them surface in other areas, but I figured this was, straightforward and to the point. Anyway, these were the fans. It says Diddy's fans, they were squirting baby oil on each other after the verdict in a wild scene outside the courthouse. So this was the day the verdict was read. And so it's since been updated since July the 2nd, and it was published on July 2nd. So this is where we're at. And like what I was saying, that people want to go viral. I think this went viral. And like I said, they'll do the most outrageous things to get attention, even if it is something that maybe not a good idea, not a good representation, or it could be something dangerous, or it could be something lethal, or it could be something that is wrong in terms of the morality and terms of people's rights. And it could be women's rights, if they even think women have rights or should have rights. I feel like we're going into an area or a space in time where women didn't have rights, and they had to do all of these things to be noticed. But the things that we see women doing to be noticed are not good. And it's just like this young lady who has this baby oil sprayed all over her. I feel like she's saying, you could do all these things to me. And I know maybe they're young and they feel like they're expressing their sexuality or their preferences in a particular way. But you would do that in a way where it's not celebrating the demise of a woman who suffered domestic violence. And you assume that she's not worthy to get justice because she brought all of her beatings, all of her struggles, all of her entrapment on herself. And this is why I was saying this is what's wrong with the women that we have today. Some of them feel that it's okay to, settle for a situation. If you can't get a good person in your corner, get anybody. Do anything for attention, to grab somebody's attention. It doesn't matter what, even if it is something that you probably know you shouldn't be doing. And I feel like we're in that area now where people do anything to grab attention of people, but they don't get the results that they think they're looking for. And then some people, maybe they do get results that they're looking for, but it isn't good for no one. It's real toxic. So I feel like that's where we've come to a place like that. I don't know if we're dealing with a young group of people or we're dealing with an older group of people, but like what I said, I guess I'm continuing on where I left off from a previous video, that I went to work, and I think there's this little break room, and these women were talking about their relationship, and this woman, she's a little younger than me. Not that much, though. And when I listened to what she was saying, she was showing the photos of this man. And he said he had 2 divorces. And this man looked like he was traveling with these different individuals, and he was out there doing his thing. And she said, oh, we've been friends since we was in high school, and we know each other, and he gives me money. And it almost felt like she wasn't even looking at the flags of the fact that he had 2 wives and 2 divorces. I would want to know, even though it's in his past, I want to know what's in his past, because what's in his past can come back to haunt his present. It could be kids, it could be something that he might have not done right, that is unfinished business with these previous relationships. And when people come to you and they have these relationships and they're not upfront with you on what kind of activities they've been involved in, then they probably will hide or withhold other things from you. And the way he travels around, the way he's bouncing from place to place, that right there alone, outside of the 2 divorces, that threw up a red flag for me. But she just couldn't see that. All she saw, that he was attractive looking, and that he was just this playboy that's giving her this money. I don't know what amount of money he's giving her, of course, but whatever it is, I think there's more to the story than just money. I accidentally heard the person had their cell phone open, and you could hear all these people going back and forth, arguing and cussing each other out, and it was weird. And it was a cartoon or a video game. It was weird, and it was her cell phone. And I said, this woman is like 40 something, and she, this is what she listening to? It was crazy. I don't know. I don't know what the whole thing was about, but I said, maybe this is what the relationships are like. Maybe she's in these, toxic relationships, and to her it isn't toxic. Maybe it's normal just to have somebody to say that she has somebody. And I felt that's where it was coming from. Then the other young lady, she was a lot younger than her. She's married. She has a daughter, and I know her position is probably she just wants to keep the daughter with her. She wants to keep her baby with the father. She doesn't look happy. I'm going to be honest with you. She doesn't look happy. She doesn't show no pictures of the man. She seems really upset, kind of possessive. I think most of the other people I've noticed, they have a photo, or they'll have something about a person they're involved with, or they'll mention something. Usually some women will say, well, me and my husband, we went to so-and-so, so-and-so. You don't never hear her really say anything that they went and did anything like family events, something happy. So I'm knowing that she's probably in a situation that probably is not ideal, I'm assuming. So, just even casually, some people will say, oh, well, me and my significant other, or my partner, or my husband, we went on a trip or a vacation over the blah blah weekend, and it's always only about the little girl. So from the way I caught it, is that she's doing all of this work, and she's at home with that little girl, and that man is out running around doing who knows what. And how I noticed is she was also agreeing with the other woman who isn't married, saying, oh, all men cheat. At what point, and these are black women, at what point do you know what respect is? At what point do you know what respect is? If you allow the person to go out and engage in all of these infidelity activities, and then you don't do it yourself, you're supposed to be the homemaker and the housewife and the girlfriend that is faithful. If something goes wrong, how do you expect for him to behave when you've allowed this to go on for so long? If you catch a disease, or if you catch a case because you're trying to get rid of this other woman that's after you because y'all two sharing the same man. How do you expect for this to go down? That's my question. I mean, I just don't see how any young woman that has a head on her shoulders, that uses common sense, would see that that is fair. You afraid that he's going to call you a feminist because you want a decent life, you want a disease-free life with somebody that's going to be serious about your kid and you in a relationship? Are you afraid that he's going to call you names if he isn't already? Mistreat you or go look for someone else to be with because you all on his, how some of the men say, you on my jock. That might be an old term. They used to say that. Are you all in my grill? Are you giving me the 411 about stuff I don't even want to hear about? Are you coming at me with the business? I don't want to hear it. Just be happy I'm here for the baby. So you have put yourself in a position where he can do whatever he wants, just like this Peach McEntry. Cheat on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and all of a sudden he's supposed to be good Monday through Thursday. Sounds like church folks, how some of them do. We religious on Sunday, but we Hellcats Monday to Saturday. That's what it sounds like. I'm just saying, it's something wrong with that. And if you don't see it, then I don't know what to say. But when you see things like this, fans squirting baby oil on each other after the verdict in a wild scene outside of court. Now, Diddy's not free. He is now a convicted felon. He's facing 20 years. He might not get life, but that's almost his life because the man is in his 50s. His career is not going to be completely the same. Yeah, he might have some followers, but think about it. Who wants to be, I'm almost afraid to ask that question because some people out there might like that kind of drama. Because like what I said, TikTok is doing some things. I see some stories that you can't make up. Slipping and sliding all over the place, and the ickiness and disgustingness. I don't understand that. Maybe I was from a different time or whatever. I don't know. I just don't find that attractive. I think it's gross. But hey, to each his own. If you like slipping and sliding, that's you. But in the case of this situation here, we're talking about domestic violence and sex trafficking and also solicitation and people that are engaged in these infidelity activities and who knows ever what. Now, if he want to be a swinger, that's his thing. But forced sex with people that don't even want to engage in it, giving them knockout drops. Come on, y'all. Really. Really. I could sit here and read this article, but that don't mean nothing compared to what I see is going on in the world. We have sunk to a new low. Really. A new low when people think that this is cool. That's all I'm saying. And then we wonder why you got black women wondering why they're not treated well. But we got one running around having baby oil squirted all over her. She's representative of who, unfortunately, when they see her, other groups think all of us do this. Well, I'm here to tell you all of us don't do that. We all don't do that. That's her. It might be a select group that likes that. What you do in the privacy of your bedroom, that's your thing. I'm not saying, if you want to do different things, explore. But what she doing in the sense is out in the open. What kids saw that? Did you think about that? What children saw that? When she gets older, if she does, she has children. Do she want her children to see her doing that? I hate to ask that question, because we have some of them that they do that in front of their kids. They don't care. Nobody cares anymore about dignity, about the rights of others, and that also is a reflection of themselves. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it was tasteless. I saw some other videos floating around. Then I saw a young man who actually broke it down about Diddy. Said Diddy is not actually free like what they think. He's still in the hot seat. He was denied bail. There's still a process he has to go through. He lost a lot of money while he was in there. And he has some money. Probably he has a lot of money, but he lost some money. He had to pay them lawyers. Those lawyers got rich. They got fat off that case. Anyway, I don't know. I just feel like this is an extension of what I've seen on TikTok. So that's why I showed that little clip. It was under a minute, under 2 minutes. But this is the mentality that's out there with these young women. And some of them ain't that young. Sorry to say, but I done ran into a few of them. They think, well, this is the way to be. You got to do all this and hunting. It used to be the man would look for the woman, not the woman hunting for the man. I saw something on, I don't know if it was Love and Hip Hop. I think that's what it was, when a woman proposed to the man. Turns out none of it worked out. He was out fooling around with somebody else. And then she was out fooling around with somebody else, and she stole some money from him. That's what I heard. It was supposed to be a hip hop couple. Power couple. They weren't even married. He was with her for years. Like they was married. They were playing house. That's what we call it, playing house. Now they not together. They broke up. You allowed this man to be in your life all them years, and y'all didn't get married, and he didn't want to marry you, and you proposed to him, and you're not with him. And who knows, maybe it's an on again, off again situation. I don't know. But from the last time I heard of this couple, they didn't get married. And she stole some money. That's what I heard. She stole money from him. And the reason behind the money was he had put her through something. So all the while she was on Love and Hip Hop, playing like she had this great relationship with this boyfriend. I'm not going to say no names. Some of you might even be familiar with this couple. She was lifting him up. He would lift her up, make it look like he was all in it. But I noticed one thing. When he was gone, he was gone. You'd always see her with a group of women. And she'd all have these fancy clothes, purses, and jewelry. And she was all in everybody else's love life. Not realizing, a lot of them didn't realize that her love life wasn't really going that swell. But when you see things like this, the women portraying themselves and putting themselves out there like that, it's almost like an invitation to something not good. Especially in the case of this situation here. I'm just saying, think about things before you do them, and what you display. And I mean, I wouldn't think that as this young lady, as she got older, years later, she looked back on this, she would agree with what she's doing now, in this time. As she matures, maybe she has some more experience in her life, she'll look back on it and say, I didn't want to display myself like that. At the time I was young, and I thought that I was doing something right. And maybe the guy encouraged her to do this. Because it was a man out there, he was showing out too. And make no mistake about it, from what I heard in the stories, is that men had been violated. It wasn't just women being abused. There were men that were sexually abused. So anyway, I'm just floored, but I'm not too shocked because I've seen some stuff worse than this. I feel like we've given up on morality, and we've given up on having respect in our relationships with other individuals. We allow the lowest of the bottom feeders to come into our life, and just to have somebody take up space and air and room just to say we're with someone, and that's all you want. That is sinking to a real low in my book. All right. Thanks for listening.